Holy shit, I'm actually up this week. What the fuck? What? How much am I up this week? How much did I even win? Yo. Yo, I'm actually up this week. What the fuck? Oh my goodness. I'm actually, how did I even, this is crazy. I kind of like futures. This is crazy. It's just a game plan that I just trusted, man. Honestly it. Hey guys, it's Will. Welcome to the channel. I'm a part-time day trader trying to become a full-time. We are in the next week of June. We are in June 9th to the 13th. I did take one trade so far. I do have a live trade right now, but I kind of just like exited the live trade. I wanted to record this video, but I can show you guys the results after. I do have a snippet of the live clip, but it's not really anything. I did change my levels a lot, but I'll explain it later. I do want to break down my first trade first, and then I'll break down my next trade, or the trade I'm in. Right now, I am still paper trading, and I'm trying to get into the groove of the futures, and I don't know how long I will take. Maybe I want to get at least consistent for 1 month, and then I might just switch or to my main account. But for now, I do want to just paper trade and just play along with the paper trading. And I did take a long position today. This was on Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, this was yesterday, and I did lose the position. I am going to play the live clip now, and then I'll break down the trade. That was pretty dumb. It was only like a 1-minute video or scalp. It was like so annoying. I honestly don't even know why I got into the trade. When I saw it, I just clicked my button really quickly because I just saw the trade and I was like, okay, this is really good. In hindsight, I don't even know why I got into that trade. Right now, I just feel like I'm just doing random things, to be honest. I'm not even reading market structure properly. I am focusing on my market structure. I know what I want to see, but I don't know why I took that trade. I want to trade, so I'm just putting things in my head so I can trade. But the confirmations are not even there yet. They're not even what I liked seeing, like the break and retest, and I just took the trade. So basically, I bought at this candle right here, the green candle or green arrow, and then I sold at the exact same candle. I just got stopped out. The stop amount was not bad. It was like 3 points or 2 points, but the level where I based off my stop was not even the lows where I got it from. It was basically the 60-50 level right there, and it makes sense if it was above the level and did a break and retest, proper break and retest, but it didn't. I was basically basing my levels off these lows right here, but it didn't really make sense because that's not the level I was trying to go for. But I saw it building, so I was like, okay, this maybe could be the break and retest long, but that wasn't even the level. During this time, when it was like stuck right here, it kept getting stuck right here, that's when the Nasdaq was stuck in my level right here. So I'm trying to take a long when it doesn't make sense, and I had to make sure that it got above. So that's why I just took my loss, and I was only going to take one trade, right? So I didn't take any more trades, and later it started breaking above this level. It didn't really give me a proper retest still, right? It didn't really come back down to retest the level. But if you see it on the Nasdaq, it breaks up and then it retests that level right there. You see how it rejects, or it wicks back above, and that was a long entry right there. Then I could have got a good win. There was also an early morning short that I could have taken, but I didn't trust it. Maybe because I tried it last week and I lost. We see how it breaks down here, retests, and then it starts rejecting. Same on the ES, it rejects, and it was a good trade. It's not like a big risk to reward, but if I'm risking like a small amount, it is a good risk reward. If I was just risking like this amount right here, and then I could have targeted this low right here, so it could have been a 2 or 3 to 1. Same with the ES, I can just risk right here, about the same thing, 2 to 1, 3 to 1. That's all you need to catch. Even though these small movements in the market are small, they're really small, they're 2 to 1, 3 to 1s, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's really tiny, but you don't really need to catch the whole thing. You get a good risk reward, you can increase size over time, you can scale up, and you can make a really good profit. But all you have to do is just make a consistent, profitable strategy and a system that you're always going to be able to stick to. I don't even like this trade. I might just stop out for a small profit. Nah, break even is fine. Probably gonna lose this trade, but it is what it is. Don't like how it's like doing all this wiki action. Okay, since it's still building, I want to move my stop to this, so I'll be in a small profit. If it breaks that low, then it's like this shit not even working at all. So it's like, what the hell am I even doing? I still maybe could target like a 3 to 1, but it's kind of close to ES, so I don't really know. But if it fails, it fails. Looking at the 30-minute chart now, I did have this level around the 22,020 and the 22,000 on the Nasdaq. Initially, I had this level, instead of 22,000, I had it at like 993 or something, because it was like this wick high right here, and it would align with this wick high right here. I could have debated if I had 22,000, but I just switched it later day. The ES, I had it at 6050. It was actually 6053 because it was a wick high of here, and also the bigger time frames of the 4 hours was 6053 or 6052. So I just had it at that, but then I changed it intraday. Oh damn, if you heard that sound, I just got my profit target. Holy shit, it just ripped. Holy shit, I'm actually up this week. What the fuck? How much am I up this week? How much did I even win? Yo, I'm actually up this week. What the fuck? Oh my goodness. I'm actually, how did I even, this is crazy. I kind of like features. This is crazy. It's just a game plan that I just trusted, man. Honestly, I'm just rambling right now because I just won my trade. I might just keep this whole thing because it's like raw and live, because I'm just happy right now. You guys can't even see my screen right now, but it's the first time I won in futures, and literally that one win just took out all my losses, or like at least for this week, it just took out all my losses. No, and last week. Yo, what the fuck? Wait, hold on. Yeah, I lost $71. 71.25 plus 13.50. Yeah, I just took out my whole 2 weeks of losses. Oh my god. Nah, this is because I have proper risk to reward. This is kind of crazy. Let me get back into what I was talking about. Going back to the 2-minute charts on the Nasdaq and the ES, I had 60.52 initially because you can see how it has a wick high here, and that is a pre-market low right there. So that's why I had it at 60.53. Then I changed it back to 60.50, right? It was supposed to break up and do a retest, and that's where my long would be. And you can see that I did take a stupid position right there, and that's why I lost. At the same time, the Nasdaq was rejecting this level right here. You can see how it was rejecting in the morning. It was holding in pre-market. And why did I even take the trade when the Nasdaq was still below that level? So it doesn't make sense. So that's why when it did break above here and it did a retest, that's when I should have taken the long. And clearly it did not do that, and that's why I did lose the trade. I had proper risk management, but just read the market wrong. Just did a random trade. Okay, breaking down today's trade, Thursday, which I just took the trade right now. That's why I was so excited earlier. But this is where I took the trade. This is basically where my target was. It was a 2-to-1 right here. This is where I got it. My risk was going to be this lower here, and I sold it right there. You can see how it's failing right now. I decided to sell it around there. It's because the 60.50 level on the ES right there, exactly 60.50. So I guess I could have targeted higher, but sometimes you never know where it can be. So I'd rather just take my risk reward properly and just walk away when I'm happy already. You can try holding it longer, but sometimes you might just lose your whole position. So that's why I just sold out. I actually had a TP there. So I'm gonna go to the bigger picture first, show you guys where I got these levels. I'm actually gonna go to the 5 minutes. Okay, this is the previous day. We can see how today is today. This is the previous day. So basically yesterday was a lot of chop around these areas of levels here, the one I had. First, we see support, rejection. That is one level I had in the market, but we do see this area right here, how it's rejecting in the pre-market as well. This is the 870 level right here. It's rejecting right there. If I do zoom out on a 30-minute time frame, we can see that this 870 level is rejecting multiple days, and this was also my previous level from before. It's also holding here and rejecting. So those are my areas of interest. Going to the 2-minute time frame now, we see in pre-market it fails right there, and then when it opens, it fails right there again. It breaks up, but this is not a strong break and retest I like, so I do not take any positions right there. But there's no point in long into this zone right here, because this box right here is only like a 40-50 point move, and it's not anything crazy, so I didn't want to take that. Then later day, it does break up this level, but you see how this like choppy here, so I don't take it, right? But we see how there's like a small support zone right here. You see how it's starting to hold this level right here, right? Why am I trying to trade off that level when it doesn't make sense? But since it's holding so much, right? It's holding so much, and if it still gets above this level here, it still gets above this level, then my game plan can be, I'm playing along there, but I know that my stop could be this right here. My stop could be this right here, and I'm giving it that space. And I took my long position right at this green arrow right here, and I basically got in early and I got that move nicely. But I do want to show you guys why I was also interested in this level. And normally I say my A+ strategy is when it breaks up like this, like a lot, and then it slowly retests the level, and then I take a long. Normally I don't trade it like this, but I was also looking at the ES too. I like how it was kept building. The Nasdaq kept building and kept holding this level. So I was like, maybe this could be a strong level. This is also why you always have to zoom out, because just because I have this level over here, the 915, it doesn't mean that it's always going to work out. I had 915 in my level right there. I am going to zoom out to the 5 minutes right here. looking to the left a little bit, this is why I also have the lower level here. You see how there's 915 right here, 915, it held right there, 915, 915. So it is a strong level, or at least for the previous day. But also you see this wick right here. We see this wick right here that was yesterday. So maybe that could be the level, right? So if I do zoom out further, let's say the 30 minutes, I go back here and I draw a line right there, exactly right at this low right here. So this will be 21,907. Then I go back to the 2 minutes right here and then look at that level. You can see how it kept holding exactly around this area. 21,907, 21,907. Yes, it does wick a little lower. You can build a case around there, and then you can also draw this line right here, and then that can be the break and retest of the intraday highs from earlier. And that's normal. It's always gonna fake you out. I could have said, yeah, this could be the low, and then it breaks down, it fakes me out, and then I lose. That's why I do want to give this exact lower here. And if it does hit that level again or breaks, then that means the market is weak. Now going into the ES, I'm gonna show you guys where I got these levels now. Going to the 15 minutes, it's almost the same thing as the Nasdaq. So that's why I do want to make sure they align together. So if they do align, then I'm more likely to take the trade. It's similar to the Nasdaq, but of course the ES has different levels. It has the 60-20, it has the 60-35 and 60-50. So basically intraday 60-35 right there, 60-35. It's not exactly 60-35, but we can see that it does give a reaction right there. And if I do go to the 2 minutes, going to this chart right here, 60-35 was general areas around here, general areas around here, and it was exactly on the pre-market or the rejections right there in the pre-market or aftermarket. 60-35 is a potential level, so if I see reactions there, then I can take it. And then 60-50 was a big level from yesterday, as well as holding, rejecting, later rejected the whole day after that. So that's why I have 60-50. And 60-25 is not really super clean, but it is like holding. Go to the 5 minute, it is holding like these days right here, and then rejecting exactly at 60-25 or 60-20, and right there as well. Going to the 2 minutes, it failed exactly at the 620 during the open time right there, and then later it breaks up, but it's like kind of choppy here. Then later it does actually hold, but I'm still not going to take that level because in the Nasdaq, when I was looking at the Nasdaq as well, it was like choppy. It later does break a back here, but like I say, I like a strong break like this, start to retest, but I didn't see that, so didn't really like this here, even though I believe they could potentially hold, but it's not my A+ strategy. It's not what I like taking, so I'm just not going to take it. Then how I trade is that I go to the 2 minutes, but I look at both of the markets. So now I'm going to look at both of the markets. So ES is on the right side, Nasdaq is on the left side. So during this time when this was breaking up, that was basically when the Nasdaq was, yeah, right here. So it was kind of choppy, so I'm still not going to take it, even though I think or I believe that this level can hold right here, this lower here, but I still don't want to take it. It's because it's not really, it's a bit too far. I was really thinking about taking that trade, but I was like, maybe this market can fall still, so I did not want to take that trade. So the ES was still holding and it was going up higher still, and maybe that was the level. So maybe I was like, okay, this could be a strong break. Going back to NASDAQ, which is basically, yeah, it's still holding. You can see how it's still holding here, here, and here. And when it's still holding like that, I was like, okay, maybe this game plan was still working. And the ES is still building. So I was like, okay, this could be a good structure, break and retest, and I can just have a proper stop, and this could be a good trade. Initially, it was going to be a 3-to-1. So I was risking about 22 points. My target was going to be like right here. I don't know where exactly, maybe 60 points. I got to look back, but it was going to be like a 3-to-1. My risk for the NASDAQ will be about 20 points or average around 20 points. So it could be a little higher. It could be a little lower. It was a high risk, right? But then when I saw this candle right here, it was like really strong. I was like, damn, that's a nice volume. And I could leave my stop right here. But why am I going to leave my stop right there when it has such a strong move into like the upside? So I was like, I could leave it back down here. I could give it this risk right here. But if it's breaking back down there, it might mean the market is weak. It might show that there's weakness. I was going to put my stop right here, like at these lows, because that means if it does break back down there, that means the market is kind of weak. It's showing weakness. So I'm going to sell there, take a smaller loss, maybe about $20 loss instead of like 40 bucks. So I just cut my risk in half, and that means my risk reward is even higher. But I'm going to leave my risk reward like the same. Later, it starts building higher. It starts going higher. And then later I was like, okay, I could leave my stop here. I could leave my stop at 20 bucks, but why not just make it into this level right here, make it break even? I was making it so that it doesn't fail these highs. That's the structure of the NASDAQ. If it's breaking down those highs, that means it's going to be kind of weak. That means it's showing weakness in the trade. So I just rather just break even. I'm really focusing on my risk now. It's because I could, because I'm not doing options anymore. So I'm able to break it even. I can just focus on my risk management because that's what's really gonna help me if I'm focusing on my risk. So basically now my stop is 0. So I'm not gonna lose anything. I'm break even if I lose a trade. So that's why I was saying this could be the higher low in the market right there. So if it does break that higher low right there, that means it's kind of showing weakness and I'd rather just not be in the trade. I guess I could say the trade is still valid, but I'm not liking it anymore. So I'd rather just manage my risk better and just like not even take a big loss or just be break even instead. It had this strong candle right there. So I was like, oh shit, that's a nice candle. I might actually win this trade. Instead of putting my stop right here, I put my stop like, I was like, oh, if it breaks this low now, it's gonna show weakness again. So that means I was going to be in a small profit rather than being break even. So I am just increasing my stop just a little higher because it makes sense. I don't want to see the break market structure showing that as weakness. What kind of, these candles are crazy right now. I'm doing all this now, like this is my first time doing this. Like I don't even know if I'm gonna keep doing this, but it just seemed like the right thing to do, like at least for this trade. My initial target was gonna be a 3-to-1, but it was a strong move. If I did have my target at 3-to-1, I would have lost this trade and I would have been annoyed. And I was saying, why didn't I win this trade? But it's because I knew that the 60-50 level on the ES was going to be a strong level. Although the Nasdaq has room to go up to here and here, I know that it might not happen. So that's why I rather just catch a small move into a range, like let's say 2-to-1s, 3-to-1s, than just catch like a big moves because it might not work all the time, right? So I'm pretty happy with this trade. I'm gonna take out my calculator here because I did lose 13.25 from earlier, which was yesterday. And then when I add this trade right here, which was $91, I am up 77.75 this week. But if I do minus it from last week, which I lost about 70 bucks last week, so I'm basically up for the whole month so far. Pretty happy with it, honestly. Just one trade took a trade yesterday. I took 2 trades last week, so one took out like 3 losses, which is crazy. And I'm not even break even. I'm tiny bit profitable. So that's the power of risk reward. And what I like to say is how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent, and let's just get 1% better every day. And I'll see you in the next one.